What's up? So on the brief topic of the protests and the rioting that's going on countrywide, which I'd like to specifically point out is not only happening in America for those people that are actually aware of what's going on everywhere else. The whole world is facing riots, backlash, and actively standing up against anything they disagree with. However, when we're based in the country that we are currently based in, let's focus on this country. So we've recently had the George Floyd situation, which a lot of people, and by a lot of people I really do mean a lot of people, it just shows the way in which a community can come together and really show solidarity and understanding, even though the media will never admit it, even though the channels that we view media on will never show these types of things. You know how when they were organized, peacefully talking, they won't show that. They will show the destruction, they will show the outrage, they will show all of that stuff, but the media will never show these types of things that actually show the community coming together. Why? Because they fear that type of alignment, or what would you call it? They fear that type of coordination, for lack of a better word. So in this street alone, there's an insane amount of surveillance. So there's like some type of camera right there. We have ADT everywhere. We were gonna get ADT for this house, but no, because it presented a serious security breach overall, and everybody knows that. Now, while I'm on that topic, the way in which all those protesters that were either in Philadelphia, Chicago, Ohio, anywhere they are, wherever they were located, wherever they protested, it's within their freedom of speech. They can, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, and we still have those. So as long as that keeps up, you're gonna have more people doing this type of thing. A quick note: a video that many people uploaded about roughly a week ago talked about how terrorism is used as a strategy and a psychological operation, which has been the case. Now they're going to use these types of riots, and they're saying that this was outside influence coordinated on this country. How exactly is that the case when you're conducting espionage 24/7 on every single civilian, military personnel, business, subsidiary, politician? How exactly is that even possible at all? It's not. And if it were possible, then that shows where our budget, the $60 billion to $100 billion toward our intelligence sector, it shows where it's all going. Nowhere. And so now what you have is basically the generalized manner in which they're trying to use the people exercising their rights of freedom in order to further oppress people by quoting and stating things that are out of context. For example, they're viewing the riots and people that were not even throwing anything, people that weren't even like fighting, that just came, a police officer came, beat them up and all that shit. They're taking it out against those people too for no reason. And you know what that proves? That proves that this Stingray technology and all of this shit is just a fucking a subservient way, not only to spy on them, because that's first and foremost, intelligence specialists will tell you that the local sectors and the people that work in these types of technological departments, their main priority and only use for this technology is to gather intel and trace the phone logs, conversation, contacts of any and all people that are within that area. This is called crowd control technology. That's what this technology is for. And so when you have these protests, whether they're organized by an outside source, and that would be a conflict of interest, you have them so that people follow a type of script, but at the same time, there are people that are genuinely passionate about what's going on. So when you have those two types of people within the same cluster, let's call them, because everything's data, what exactly does the USA suppose will happen? People are not going to be aware of you further spying on their connection, further using the uprise of the people in a negative way to distort the perception of what we're facing here, because media still gets outside. So it's not just what we watch. In fact, almost nobody watches television anymore. The main point, all of these protesters, and I know I've repeated it, but I cannot stress the fact of how important that is. Every single protester that attended these rallies within the past week, and arguably within the past 30 years, even more, have been illegally spied upon by the local and national sectors of our government. And now they're using the terrorism as a psychological strategy to further divulge details and break NDAs and get all types of shit. As referenced before, just because you have a group of individuals that are coordinated does not give the government any legal precedence to overstep the rights of the collective society as a whole, i.e. the American citizen and its affiliates, which are the migrant and immigrant community, the international community, the national community, etc. So there's more of us, and there are those people that just want to turn a blind eye to all this shit. And it does not give them any right. Not in the USA. Maybe if we were a different type of government, but last time I checked, we're still capitalists, aren't we? And we still stand for democracy. So for anybody that has a problem with open speech, freedom of assembly, and protesting, reevaluate where you stand.